you keep mixing. Now comes this cool guy, surfing here, Dan Lawless, straightening things up. A pro here, Dan Lawless. Dan, 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 dan. Dan, 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 dan. Straightening things up. His name is Dan Lawless. Dan, 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 dan. Dan, 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 dan. Straightening things up. His name is Dan Lawless.
Silver Surfer. I thought it'd be a good time to do that because the movie trailer just came out, and so I thought I'd take a look at different attempts at the Silver Surfer. When I was a kid, this is the one I looked at, the John Buscema, uh, classically drawn, beautifully drawn Silver Surfer, and he had basically was, or essentially was, a white sort of angelic creature against a dark background. There was, some white with some blue highlights in essence. And that's what I know. Like, this is one of my favorite Silver Surfers ever. It's so cool. So I'm going to try to capture the feel of this and do what I think they should do in the movie, but they're not doing, of course. First off, they made him a girl. Now now they don't want to, of course, do the look of the comic. They like this look, and I don't like this look. When you have something reflective like this, chrome things, highly reflective things, they reflect the dark background. If it's in a space like background, it'll reflect that exact thing, so it doesn't pop off the page anymore. It's not white against black to make a nice contrast. It's all black. And even if you do something like this, it's still very dark, and it doesn't have the same feel as the comics, which is what I want to do. I love the comics. So, but it's always difficult because something gets lost in translation. So they make these comics into movies, and it's just it's kind of stinks. So let me see what I can do if I can make this baby work. I'm going to draw a figure that I've drawn this before in this angle. It's always a challenge to do this particular pose. But I'm going to try it again and see if I can pull it off. And so I'm going to start off with some soft lines here. I always kind of, you want, when you're starting off with your drawing, you want to keep it not detailed. You want it, so a bigger, thicker brush is better. Trying to get that pose. Want dynamics in it. So I'm going to draw. This is a very difficult pose, by the way, to draw. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody beginning. I have had a hard time drawing Silver Surfer my entire career. Every time I try to draw him, it just doesn't really work out very well. So, but I think I'm much better than I was in the past. Obviously, it takes a long time, to learn how to draw these things, to learn how to do comic art and do it right. So, I'll work out the mechanics of this. I'm looking for that Buscema look, though. I want that, that kind of lithe. Is that a word, lithe? Something very thin but muscular and strong. So let me see if I can get this figure working. I might need to move it up. I think I'm too large here. Okay. Always keep it loose, keep it rough, guys. When you're starting off, if you do it too detailed, too fine tuning, you're not gonna get the essence of the character. You need that essence, the gesture drawing. I got a good video on gesture drawing, and you should check it out. It's a lot of fun. Gesture drawing's fun. When this is the fun part, when you're getting the feel for something, when you get the motion, the energy. Or at least, well, for me it is. Some people hate it. It's a nightmare for some people. So the trailer looks good for Fantastic Four looks fantastic, but except for the Silver Surfer. Doesn't look like the Silver Surfer, and I really hate it. But it could, I'll give it a chance. It could be a really good movie. The female surfers could be just fine. I don't know. But they're changing it just to annoy people. I mean, why? But you don't need to. So I'm trying to get it's a very difficult pose because I'm looking to get this going back into the distance. That's not easy. Very challenging pose to pull off. Let's see. Okay. Now, I think I've got the pose right-ish. The neck muscles popping out of here. I love working on the computer, by the way. It's really cool. It's both faster and slower in some ways. It's nice for getting these roughs in, though, and then I can flip it. All right, let me see how this looks. I want to, as a matter of fact, I think I might do the perspective lines first because I want the horizon around the vanishing point to be about yay or something like this because I want the surfboard, and then I'm going to go out like this. I want a low angle. Looking for that low angle. They don't have to be exact. This is just guidelines. Hang on a second. Whoops, that one's way off. I don't want it way off either, though. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Let's see if I got this kind of right. Okay, I think I like it more or less. I want to make sure the shoulder. I'm kind of looking to get these shoulders back a little bit. Kind of. That's kind of cool. The trick is to keep it looking kind of long. Got to get it just the right angle so it's kind of coming at you, but at the same time looking kind of long. Okay, now I'm going to draw in the surfboard kind of roughly. I want a little bit of thickness to it. There's going to be lines on it. Okay, that's kind of working. Not that bad. Doesn't suck that bad. Okay, So take that way down opacity wise. Take this one way down opacity wise. And maybe I'll take these way down too. So they don't distract me as I'm working. Maybe actually just take them out for the moment. Okay, let's get in here and draw Buscema face as best I can. New layer. I'm just using regular brushes, simple round brushes, nothing spectacular. Okay, I put some. I like putting eyeballs, and it kind of helps me figure out where I'm going to put the eyebrows. I want to give that face some, even though it's kind of almost skull-like, you want that fleshy tone to it. The features should be angular. We're looking for angelic beauty. Okay, I'm going to try to get these. Now, see, the great thing about drawing the balls in the drawing the balls, uh, the eyeballs, I should say, is that you can kind of, when you shape your the eyes, you can kind of follow that line a little bit because it gives it the correct roundness. Now, Buscema drew these weird kind of eyes that were kind of, no pupils, but exotic. There was no like eyelid, or if there was, it was underneath the eyebrow. So, who's your favorite Silver Surfer artist? I'd like to know. You can put your comments in the comment section. I liked, of course, Buscema. I think he's the best. But there were some others. I like Ron Garney. He really captured it pretty well. He captured the surfer. Okay, I'm going to put the shine lines in here too, but they will not be black in my illustration because that's part of how I'm trying to make it into something uh, that would be realistic. Okay, it's looking kind of silver surfery. The same as silver surfery. There's a lot of people mad that they made the Silver Surfer into a woman, and I join them. I mean, I agree. It looks ridiculous. In fact, it looks like doesn't even look like a. I mean, if you're gonna make it a woman, make it a woman. But they didn't even do that. They made it into look like a little girl. It's like, well, that ain't cool, dudes. Doesn't look cool. You got to make them cool. If anything, make it cool. Give her a female figure. Boobs. Now with the fingers, nice angular stuff. And there's so much about fingers that, when you're doing it's there's so much expression, there's so much emotion in the fingers and faces, hands and faces. I got a pretty good tutorial on hands, by the way. Check it out. Took me about 2 weeks to prepare. So I really put a lot of work into it, and it shows because it's a very comprehensive, very. I mean, I learned something from my studies because when I wanted to create it, I said I got to really teach this. How do I teach this? And so I had to kind of look and see how I think, how my mind thinks when I'm doing it, and manage to put that down. And in doing that, I became more adept at drawing hands. I just do some studies and stuff like that. That's what happens. Teachers, the best way to learn something sometimes is to teach it. Forces you to study and learn because you will be asked questions and you better have some answers. I think there is no ear really, the same as Silva. Okay, kind of like him. I think he's coming along. Don't make him too muscular. That's important. So getting back to the Silver Surfer, I mean the Fantastic Four movie. It looketh goodeth, but and Sue looks good. Johnny's great. They're fine. Actually, Sue's not. Sue could be a little bit more beautiful. She's okay, but I'm not going to complain too much about her. She's fine. Johnny Storm kind of looks pretty good, but man, the Pedro that doesn't look anything like Reed Richards at all. So that was kind of that's another thing that really makes probably more than the Silver Surfer turning being a woman, because the Silver Surfer was a woman, and in some of the Silver Surfer comics there was a female surfer girl. That sounds funny. Surfer girl, the Beach Boys. Yeah, there was, but the Pedro Pascal or whatever his name is doesn't look anything like him. Reed Richards is a very Caucasian looking dude. He's blue eyed. I think Chris Pine. I think that was the guy that did the Star Trek. Chris Pines, I think it was. He would have been a perfect Reed Richards. He looked just like him. Just the way anybody would draw him. Buscema would draw him. But they don't care. They don't care what the fans think. They don't care what I think or you think. They only care what they think. That's the problem with Marvel these days, folks. They just don't care what you think. Which is why you want to go independent. Check out the independent markets, Comicsgate, all that kind of stuff. Check out Cyberfrog and Glorious Rex and Godlike and Wraith of God and a new one called Speed or Springball. Springball, not Speedball. That's a Steve Ditko character. Springball by Shantan Jetty. Really, really interesting new characters. And they will, believe me, if they'll give you if you give them their feedback, they will listen because they have to if they want to stay in business. I just got my core draft, by the way, actually, from Andy Smith. There's um, another great independent comic book, Core Draft, that is. And he's got a new book based on one of the villainous of the villain became very popular. Everyone liked Lilith, and so they're making a story, or I think a full book on her. But anyways, just sign up. Go to uh, Andy Smith Art um, Twitter page, and you can find it there. So, yeah, they didn't do so hot with their casting of the Silver Surfer. That's for sure. The Fantastic car looks fantastic, though. That's awesome. Way to go. Galactus looks like he's going to be awesome. You can't see him yet, but you can just seeing the glimpses of his feet and stuff. Oh, that looks so cool. Yeah, Jack Kirby. He said essentially when he was creating these characters, the Silver Surfer, Galactus, and stuff, that he had to come up with something new because he couldn't just depend on gangsters, and because he wants to entertain his audience. He wanted to get good sales. He said his inspiration was the fact that he's got to make sales. Imagine that. Not just some sort of, I have to do my artistic expression. No, he said, I want to make sales. So I had to come up with something imaginative and entertaining. That's the way they used to think in comics. They don't think that anymore, except in the independents. The independents go, how can I entertain you? Getting some of these shines in here. This is looking all right. Okay, how's that look? Not that bad. Let me see what the line here. Not that bad. Let me flip it. Flipping is important for seeing any mistakes. If you're doing this on a piece of paper, you want to take it to the mirror, have a mirror next to you, stuff like that, or look through it put it up to a light or a light box. I want these cheekbones nice and high, kind of exotic look. I want that exotic. I want this jawbone to start early as possible, so that I can, because I want it looking down as much as possible. Early, I mean, as it's I'm coming down the head here with this. That's pretty cool. Keep it loose and light. And this is not a real finished illustration. It's real, really tight. It just got to be. I want the feel, though. I want the mainly that what I want to explore with you all is the coloring of it, the rendering of it, because that'll make it real. That'll make it. What is it? What do I want it to look like in a movie? I'm a perfectionist. I'll just click at one pixel practically to try to get that thing right. I think I like it more or less. Kind of cool. I want to get some roundness in that skull head. So the idea is get this, going back. Make that torso long enough that you're convinced you're looking back at it. All right, that's cool. All right, I'm about to do some flats. I'm trying to color this baby. Well, actually, I might do the surfboard first. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Kind of cool. Okay, time for. Let me flip it back. I think I'm going to flip it back. You keep kind of flipping it back and forth, and you kind of get a feel for your mistakes. You can see 'em I don't know why flipping something really brings out the obvious mistakes, but it does. Sometimes, though, when you go back and forth flipping it a bunch of times, you start to learn, you start to get used to those both sides of it, though, and really, the next thing you gotta do is let it sit for a couple days 'cause you've lost your, objectivity to it. The idea is to get an objective viewpoint, a fresh viewpoint, and that's what it kinda does when you flip it. You're seeing it for the first time, sort of. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect, just gotta look pretty good. Drawing is memorization, anatomy, memorizing every muscle group. But then once you know it, then you can kinda play around with it, then it becomes a playground. Okay, let's do the surfboard. I'm gonna make this a color some kind of color, blue, indicate the line. Now let's make that surfboard. I'm trying to think of the best way to do the surfboard. Because if I make it a big surfboard just straight across, it's gonna be difficult to, the lines will really get thin when I, put them in perspective. So I think I'm gonna try something a little different. I think I'm gonna go just like this. Get this across like that. Now I could make these lines perfect, but I think I'm just going to make them do them by hand. If I was going to do this for Illustrator, for, professionally, I would probably make it more precise using calculations, and there's tricks to doing those things. So, but I'm going to try this, see if this works. If not, I'll try something else. So now I use my command key and my move tool. I want to put things in perspective. See if this works at all. Not so sure it's working. Well, sort of worked. Not really. I think I'm just going to forget about the perspective tool and try to do this by hand, because that didn't really give me what I wanted. Besides, it's probably better to draw it fresh anyways. Okay, I will use this perspective, these lines here. Okay, let's see how this works. I feel like I want this all to go a little bit lower, though. Let me move this down, because I want this this baby to go down. I want it to be, this foot to be way in the back on the board. That's more like it. Okay, that's more like it. Okay, nice graceful curves. I want some, edge to it. Okay, still going with this all the way across. By the way, who likes my new intro? Straightening things up. Created by Piso Shea, he goes by. Just came that with that to me out of the blue. I told him I liked. I grew up in the 60s or 70s. Born in the 60s, grew up in the 70s. I liked all that Beach Boys surfing stuff. And he goes, all right. Came up with that. That was great. I love it. A lot of fun. Okay, so I want to take this across like so. Okay, let me get a straight edge here. I use this the edge of it. I put it on my Wacom tablet, Wacom tablet, I prefer to call it, but I know it's Wacom. And I put it right on here and I draw. Use it. It gives you a better line than if you do it with a computer. A little bit more real, a little more feel to it. Okay, now we're talking. Looks kind of cool. I think I like it. Yeah, more or less. It's good. Okay, I'm going to do something boring, so I might just have to stop the film for the film. Yeah, right. I grew up in the 70s, you can tell. But essentially, I'm just going to do the flats so I can color this baby. And get rid of that. Don't need that. It didn't work anyways. So go in here, create another layer. Nice blue color. And I'm going to go in here and just do this around the whole thing. So it's going to get boring and I will cut. Let me just show you kind of basically what I'm going to be doing. I want to go around all these edges. All right, see you in a few. Okay, here it is. It is it's done. Got the flats in here, and what this is basically, it's we can color away. See if you take the line off it, just a flat area, and then you lock the area. You lock that, and then I can color over any part of it. Might actually guys have a couple of stragglers here. Make sure I got everything. Sometimes you got to take off the line just to see if you missed anything. But looks like I got most everything. That's good. Okay, let's look. It's going to be up against a black background like that. So first thing I want to do, I'm actually make some stars. So I'm going to take this black layer, Command J on a Mac, and going to go up here to my menus and do filter. In a drop down menu, go to noise, add noise, about 50%. Boom, done. Then I'm going to go to my, well, actually, I'm going to add, I don't know why I have to do this, but I've learned this online. So go to blur, Gaussian blur, about 1.5, Okay, that's good. Now, Command L brings up your levels, and you want to move these babies pretty close together till you see stars. The kind of stars you want. So there's a star pattern. Kind of cool, huh? Somewhat random, nice looking star pattern. That's good. Maybe make it a little darker. Okay, let's see what that looks like. I might want to make these stars a little bit larger, so I'm going to take this baby and Shift Command or Shift Option, kind of bull this out a little bit. Whoa, and that's too big. Yeah, that's a little better. Those stars are just getting kind of small. Okay, I'm going to make that size. Okay. Now the next thing, I'm going to go back to here and just work on do a background here. This is kind of fun. Get some blues. Whoops, I want color, not grays. Yuck. Different kinds of colors. Make some whites. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Something like that. I want to put a white behind it too. Fill a layer of white. And then I want to combine these so that I want it solid. I don't want anything transparent. Merge layers. Okay, that's kind of cool. Now, Command J it. Get rid of this one. And this is going to be a fun part. Let's see. I take this. I got my move tool. I push the command on the Mac. So that's kind of fun, huh? Very cool. Duplicate this layer. Something like that. Soften that edge up a little bit here. Duplicate this again. I think I'll flip this over. Transform it horizontally. Pull back a little bit. Again, I think I'm going to knock some of that off. Okay, that's kind of cool. Finish it up a little. Duplicate that layer again. Okay, maybe one more. Okay, now he looks like the Silver Surfer is flying through space here. I'll take all these layers, put them in one group. Okay, now it's time to get going on the Silver Surfer. Lock this layer. I think I'm going to lighten them up just overall generally using my hue and saturation option there from the pull-down menu. Now I'm looking for that white. Again, I don't want that silver. Not looking for silver, even though he's a Silver Surfer. Don't want the chrome. Want those blues that you would see in Buscema's work. These lines are getting awfully distracting. I think I'm going to pull them away for a second. So he's kind of ghost-like, kind of angelic, a little bit almost creepy, but cool. That's the essence of getting a good character. Kind of creepy, kind of tough, fearless, angry, a little bit of anger in him, like a little bit of toughness, determination. It's not evil, but so I'm starting to get there. I'm getting to it's whitening up. See, that's sort of the Surfer to me. But see those shadows? don't really want them that dark. Gonna work it a little bit like this. Okay, now that's a little better because this is what the finish is gonna look more like. Okay. Beautiful blues. A little bit of purples. Aquamarine. And now I'm going to go in here actually in some of these lines. I want to make them blue. Lock the layer. Get in here with some nice blue color. So there's not going to be a lot of black on them. This is where I'm separating from the comic book art version. The black lines. I'm bluing the black lines. Okay, that's good. Maybe I could darken a few of these a little bit just to give it a little more hot shine. Okay, back to the color. Knocking in a lot of this. Don't want anything too dark necessarily. Lots of reflections going on here. You're just playing with it. There's no exact science to it. It's a playground right now. But see how it's almost white. Okay, I'm digging this. I'm digging it. Hope you guys are too. I get rid of that line in between the this is that. Okay, now for the we got to do the surfboard. Mostly white, probably. Trying to get that reflection. That's kind of cool. I think I'm going to use a nice blue on that, though. Nice solid line to get that cool reflection. The sharper the edge, the more reflective it is. Now it looks like it's pretty shiny. But I don't want it too shiny, as you know. This is pretty white. Okay, now for this baby. Whoops, not that one. Where is it? This one? Yeah, this one. Okay, so now we want to go in here and throw a white on top of this. Because we want to really make this baby like it's sparkly, beautiful. Okay, now I got to get on. Here's where I might want to go back and do a little bit of work on the line here. Let me get in here and get this blue. Okay, that's kind of cool. That's the background. And now I'm going to get a layer mask on here. Kind of knock this back. All right, that's kind of cool. I feel like this is I'm going to pull these together. Merge them. think that blue is just a little too blue. Let me see what I got here. Either move it towards the... something like that. Whiten it, perhaps? I don't know. Yeah, I don't feel like it's sharp enough. Wish it was a little bit sharper. All right, let's see. This, to me, doesn't look dark enough. Let's darken the sky up a little more. That's kind of cool. Put a few stars in here. I have a brush just for this. Use my mouse on this. It's easy to click it. Make one big one. There. There, take out a few of these. Okay, that's cool. Now, what I'm looking for still is to get that white against the background. So we may have to go up and lighten this baby up more. Let me do a clipping mask. Create a clipping mask. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, I think I want to do a little more of the aqua color here in the reflections. Rather than purple. Because that's kind of what it was in the comic book too. Definitely getting there now. That's it. Whoops. That's the ticket. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, now I'm going to do some overlay just over the some of this background. I'm not sure if I love this blue that I put in here. Kind of eh. Let me go back and see if I can fix that in my hue and saturation. Look for the blues. Okay, that's better. Okay. I want to go in here on this bit here too and do a little, bring that blue. I like these aqua blues. I think they look good. Give me a few more fast lines here too. Let me just put this in here. Okay, take those down a little bit. No, actually, I gotta leave them up. That's kind of cool. I wonder if I can tilt him all just a little bit, though, his whole body. Let's see. Give it a little more excitement to them. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, time to put some highlights on this baby. Okay, I'm going to put some sparkle. I think overall he should have like a little bit of a glow to him too. This is what I mean by angelic. Now imagine if they did this with the Silver Surfer in the movie. Bring that down a little bit. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's kind of what I'm looking for from Silver Surfer. This is what I would imagine him to be. I would like them to be in the movie. Cool, silver. Let me flip this and see if any final tweaks on it. Norrin Rad. Not that bad. Kind of cool. I feel like I need a little bit more shine on him. Let me put a little bit of these speckles here. I think they look kind of cool. But I think I want more shine on him in particular. Give me some dark here. Just a little bit of that highly reflective stuff. I wouldn't mind drawing this character, frankly. I really think he's cool. But I'd have to color him too, because I don't think they would figure out how to color him. They certainly wouldn't know how to color him. All right, I like this. I'm digging it. Pretty good. Now, the only thing I could add still to this is some Kirby Crackle. That'd be kind of cool. Kirby Crackle, yeah. Okay, where am I at? Got some glow. He's looking good. Yeah, I like it. Pretty happy with it. I could work on it some more, but I think what I really set out to do, I did. The goal has been achieved. I wanted to see what he would look like if I could make him look realistic and still have the flavor of the comic book. And I think I did it. I gone done that. Fantastico. I like it. What does everyone think? Check it out. Let me know in the comments what you think of this finally. If you stuck around this long, or if you just zoomed in at the end to see the final bit, which is fine too, you know. Zoom in and check out the areas that you really want to learn from. You think there's something interesting to learn from. Oh yeah, Kirby Crackle. Let me put this back for a second. Flip an image. Okay, time for some Kirby Quackle. Kirby Quackle. Take a nice color here, maybe a kind of a blue, ultramarine blue or something, and just play around with it. Kind of like maybe it's come out of here like the circumference of this. Now I go in here with my eraser tool. Just take out little areas. So I just rough that in like that, and then I get in here. It's kind of what Kirby would do. He would make a line, then do sort of the, probably use whiteout or something to take out the, the other parts. I think I'm going to blacken this up more, though. Let me see something. Is this the layer? Yeah, I think I'm going to darken this baby. Give it a little more contrast. Yeah, that's cool. Now I got to kind of fix that. The Kirby Crackle came out more. Let's see. See, now it's just playing. Now I'm just playing after I'm done. So that's kind of cool. Let me see if I make it some different colors, what would happen. Bring up the hue and saturation. It's kind of cool. Purple, pink, nah. I think it's best with the blue. I think it's best with the color I had, really. Not sure if I want it on or not. I think I'm going to take some of that shine off. Let's go. I want to blacken this even more. Oh, I'm digging that. Digging that. So what do you guys think? There he is, Silver Surfer. The way he should be in the movies, I think. I think it'd be cool. Maybe they will someday, I'm sure. They can go back and AI it. In fact, that's probably coming next. AI movies. It'd be kind of cool. They can do anything. But that's a cool, it's a cool Buscema face, eh? Good, strong physique. Yeah, I dig it. Me dig it. See, hour and a half been going here. That's fine. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and I'll see you. Wait a minute, I gotta put this sparkle back on. Where was the sparkle? Oh, it's on. Okay. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Hey, check out my other tutorials. I got great stuff on perspective, figure drawing, how to draw. I got one that's very popular, how to draw the female figure made easy. A lot of guys want to be able to draw a female figure. Well, I figured it out for you. and it made it easy for you to do. And that's good, right? Lots of tips and tricks, how to put your figures in perspective quickly, how to draw hands, how to draw horses, lots of good stuff. There'll be more to come. I really appreciate you guys checking in, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.